Angular directives. One is ng if. We have ng switch. We have ng for. These three comes under the category of structural directives. Ng if, ng for, and ng switch. These are the structural directives. The main purpose of structural directives is they involve in three things: either adding elements, either removing elements, or iterating of elements. They are responsible for changing the structure of HTML page. So that's why we call generally as structural. We call them as structural. We will see that. And important is the directives. The structural directives actually. The structural directives are added to HTML elements by using asterisk. The structural directives are added to HTML element by using asterisk. Actually, what they do is they make HTML more declarative. They make HTML more declarative and dynamic also. Dynamic. That is what actually the purpose here. And very important is generally the directives in the background are built by using functions and modules actually. So technically they are built by using functions and modules. We are just using them. Actually, you should know that in Angular library, directive comes from a module. Directive comes from a module. The module name will be the same as directive name actually. Usually it will be like this. Module is so ng if, that is the module. Ng if is the module. And the directive name, usually it is ng if like this. That means the module name will use a title case. Every word first letter will be caps, right? And directive name will be in camel case usually, right? It will use the simple ng if like this. Actually, in early versions, so that means Angular JS uses directives. So by directives in HTML elements by using the following syntax. Actually, early versions, they use like this. We have a div, we use like this, ng if like this. But the latest version, Angular uses the directives in this way. That means Angular 2 and higher versions so uses directives in HTML elements by using the following syntax. So it uses the following syntax, and that is nothing but we have a div. Here we use asterisk ng if So that's how it uses the directives. So this is how the directives changed. This is how the directives changed in the previous and now. That is the reason if anyone knows about directives, if anyone knows about directives and aware of early versions of Angular, so he can easily understand about this approach actually. But only the point is the way how to define it, and the syntactical features have changed, but the purpose is same. The purpose is same. So even you don't know the early versions, it doesn't matter, because here we don't care about in older version how it is. So because in the current version, how we are using, that is important, because the older version is completely different. Older version means I am not talking about Angular 2, 3, 4. I am talking about Angular JS, right? So that's the reason. So if you can handle, and if you know the syntax, how to handle, later you can easily work with it in Angular JS also. Just only you have to understand the syntactical difference there. Logic will be same. So that's how we use the directives actually, directives. And the structural directives, these are all the structural directives we are having. ng if, ng switch, and ng for. Let's see one by one these structural directives. So first we will see how to use ng if, ng if. So technically, ng if, it is an Angular directive which is used to dynamically control a HTML element by adding and removing it into the DOM hierarchy. So that is a simple point actually. So ng if is a structural directive used to add or remove any element from DOM hierarchy. It can add any element, remove any element from the DOM hierarchy. ngIf. Actually, it uses a Boolean value or condition. So which can add or remove element according to the state. That is what actually the purpose of this. So let's see one simple example, means how actually this happens. So it uses a Boolean value or a Boolean condition. So syntactically, generally, it uses like this. We have a div asterisk ng if is equal to true or false. Now important. So actually, if I say true, that means adds div into HTML page. And if it is false, it will remove div from HTML page. That is important about ng if. Syntactically, so much is there. We will discuss about that. This is a basic syntax. How we can use with multiple conditions. We will see that how we can deal with the multiple conditions. We can work with that. Initially, this is the basic point we need to understand. Let's see. Actually, if I have to show or hide any element, so let's see one simple example. So here we have the product related details displayed. Fine.